Hello, welcome to Sleep Hygiene for Recovery. This is basically some tips on getting a good night's sleep, especially when you've entered recovery, you're giving up your substance, or you've stopped taking the substance or reduced taking it, and you're finding that your sleep is being affected. First of all, some facts about sleep. Adults need a good 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, really, to stay healthy. Um, all the science kind of shows this. And we need a mixture of both deep sleep and dream sleep to help our brains kind of repair themselves, clean themselves, and also for our brains to make memories and learn things from the day before. Saying that, about a third of all adults will actually suffer from some kind of poor sleep. And it may seem like that alcohol or a sleeping pill or a benzo like Valium helps us get to sleep, but actually in the long run they make our sleep worse. So you might find you need more and more alcohol or sleeping pills or benzos to get you to sleep or help you stay asleep, as your sleep gets worse and worse and worse because of those things. But the good news is that it is possible to train our brains to get a better sleep. So when we get into recovery and we stop taking that substance, we might find that we have trouble either getting to sleep, or once we are asleep, waking up after a few hours and can't get back off again. And we might find that we have some strange or very realistic and sometimes quite disturbing dreams. This is normal. It's quite common. And when we come off a substance, basically our brains have natural chemicals to help them work in them, and they have to readjust themselves, rebalance themselves to working without the substance. And it's this readjustment that causes the side effects of disturbing our sleep and giving us the strange dreams. However, the dreams and sleep will improve over time. It does get better. But there are some things we can do to help us get a better sleep ourselves. Routine. Routine is really important. And what I mean by routine is that making sure that we go to bed, get up at exactly the same time every day. So maybe that means going to bed at 10 o'clock, going up at 7, or perhaps going to bed at midnight, going up at 9, but making sure we do that every single day. And that includes weekends. And even if we've had a really bad night's sleep, we still need to get up at our get up time. And making sure that we never nap during daytime, never having a little sleep in the afternoon or anything. So that means that we're really tired by the time it comes around to bedtime. This is quite difficult to do, but over time, what we're doing is we're training our brains and our bodies that at this certain time, that's the time to sleep. The environment around us as well is really important to helping us get to sleep. So the place where you sleep, the bedroom, all the science shows that the best temperature is about 16 degrees, which is quite cool. But this, we've kind of evolved as human beings that when the evenings get cooler, it triggers our brains into going into sleep mode. So we need the bedroom to be cool to trigger that effect. And we also need to keep it dark. So we make sure that all the curtains around the whole house are drawn. We keep all the lights dim, at least a good hour before bed. In summer, you might need to use blackout curtains or even bits of cardboard work. Because again, our brains are evolved to notice that when it goes dark, it triggers our body into getting ready for sleep and going into sleep mode. Not being able to see a clock from your bed can be really handy Otherwise, if we see a clock, we've got a tendency to think, oh, I've only got 5 more hours before I've got to get up, or 4 more hours before I've got to get up. And that can make us anxious. Um, and that will stop us sleeping. So we can't see a clock, we can't do that. That can be really helpful. Really important as well that we only use our bed for sleeping. So what I mean is that not going to bed to eat or watch TV or using your phone, but only for basically mainly sleep. And that way, our brain and body again learns that when I get into bed, it's sleep time now. And we want to try and keep it as quiet as possible. And that's quite difficult in some places, but if there is a lot of unwanted sort of sound around you, you perhaps use earplugs or soothing music or white noise to mask any unwanted sound. What we eat and drink can also affect how we sleep. Caffeine, of course, everyone knows about in coffee, but it's also in tea and it's also in fizzy pop like Iron Brew and cola. And caffeine stays in our systems for 10 hours. It takes the caffeine from a cup of tea 10 hours to leave our body, which means that if you have a cup of coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to be midnight before it stops working and doing things in your body. So maybe only have caffeine, tea, coffee, fizzy pop in the earlier part of the morning. Trying not to eat a heavy meal 3 hours before bed, because we go to bed, our stomachs are really full and digesting. Our body and brain is focusing energy on digesting. That can keep us awake. Alcohol, again, it might seem like it helps us get to sleep, but what it does, it gives us completely the wrong type of sleep. That isn't really any use to our brains at all. So what we might find is that if we have a drink to go to sleep, we wake up a few hours later, or if we do sleep the whole night through, we wake up feeling really tired because we haven't got a proper sleep. Saying that, a light snack though, like a banana or a yogurt or a cup of warm milk, about 30 minutes before bed can help you sleep, because bananas and dairy products have a chemical in them that helps your body sleep. So just a light snack can be helpful. We can also look after our well-being. There's things we can do to help with our sleeping. Meditation and mindfulness before we go to bed to help kind of relax us and calm us and reduce anxiety. That can be really useful. Having a warm bath or a shower about an hour before you go to bed, that also can help our bodies prepare for sleep, because as we get out of that after shower and over the next hour cool down from it, again, it tricks our body into thinking, well, it's the evening, it's getting to it, it's time to sleep, and our body's going to sleep mode. We can exercise, getting enough exercise during the day, not in the evening, because that will just G us up. We're trying to exercise enough in the day so that by the time we come to bed, we're naturally tired. And absolutely, this one's really important. No screens like phones, computers, or tablets a good hour before you go to bed. And I might even include flat screen TVs on this one. Even if you've got those apps that turn your screen blue, because even with those, looking at our phones just before we go to bed just fires our brains up, and just will stop us. You know, our thoughts will still be going full pelt when we get into bed. So absolutely no screens a good hour before bed to help calm our brains. On the other hand, reading a book can actually help us get to sleep. So reading a book before we get really tired, and once you've read the same sentence about 3 times, you know that was a good time to turn the light off and go to sleep. And sometimes when we lie there at night, we have these kind of like helicopter thoughts that go round and round as we worry about things. Uh, a way of kind of dispelling those is if we can create just the story in our mind, kind of imagine a story. It could be something as simple as imagining how you would redecorate the house or how you would build a house, and try and work out each and every little bit, what the wallpaper would look like, what kind of door handles you would have. Because if we do that, what we're doing is we're focusing on the present, on that story we're making in our heads, which means that we can't be thinking about the future, and worry is always about future things. So we're taking away those worrisome thoughts and that anxiety that stops us sleeping. And all these things are really powerful, but they may take a while to work. So don't worry too much. They don't work straight away. It might take a couple of months before you notice any difference. But that's okay, because it takes time to retrain and rewire our brains. So the important thing is we just stick to our routine, and stick to our sleep tips. After a couple of months, we should be able to see a good change in the way we're sleeping. I hope that was helpful. Have a good night.